experience the scariest moment of his life.
Jimmy, please, I want to see my wife and kids.
No, you will never see them again. Mackle them out.
Fuck you, bitch nigga.
Seal him up! You have to survive 10 minutes
While watching MLP Tell Your Tale Season 2.
Beat Fox 15 feet.
Welcome to my channel.
I'm gonna be all up in those feet.
My Little Pony G5. Let's talk about its current state, shall we? As well as its future and potentially the future of this channel. So, let's talk about it. So, I want to address a couple things in this video, talking about the end of Chapter 6 for context, the current season of Tell Your Tale, as well as the future of MLP G5, and a couple other comments and things you told me to bring up in this video. But first, let's start off with the end of My Little Pony Make Your Mark Chapter 6. Okay, so My Little Pony Make Your Mark Chapter 6 came out a couple months ago, as well as Secrets of Starlight, the special, along with it. Chapter 6 Make Your Mark was mixed, I will be generous. Most people liked it, most people didn't like it. I was on the side of did not like it, but don't let that stop you from liking it if you genuinely do like My Little Pony G5. I just thought it was just not good. The special was a special, and I overall just thought that MLP G5 was just trying to be MLP G4, but bad. It was trying to be MLP G4, but even worse, while trying to be something new at the same time. I think Make Your Mark as a series was interesting, to say the least. It overall had potential. I know this word gets thrown around a lot, but like, I genuinely did believe that this could have been good, if not better, than its predecessor. And I know some of you guys get upset when I mention G4 because like, it is kind of unfair. People's nostalgia always wins over the new thing people are trying to push, regardless of what it is. But also at the same time, MLP G5 is a reboot and also semi-sequel to Friendship is Magic. And it's just, I don't know what it is, but my brain can't separate the two sometimes. Like, I obviously can, don't get it twisted. Like, I can separate my nostalgia and biases when I'm actually talking about stuff on this channel to be critical and fair. I did for the longest time for my G5 videos up until the Chapter 6 video that I made. But at that point, when I was making the Chapter 6 video, I had just felt so tired of holding back, or to simply put it, bored, and I just wanted to see what would happen if I had mentioned or brought up G4 when talking about G5. And what I discovered while making content for MLP was that it's really hard. It's really hard to talk about this show sometimes. Genuinely, for an example, you want to know why this video on screen took so long to make? It's because I was just bored. I just didn't want to do it. And that was in large part due to the state that MLP was in currently then. And looking at it now, it's like the far future of G5. I'm talking like 2027 and onward is just unknown. And I don't know how people are gonna feel about that. Like, is Tell Your Tale gonna keep people satisfied or content? I don't know. And hopefully the specials will entertain people, but nobody knows what that's gonna look like until people actually see it in front of them for the first time. Which then leads me into the current state of Tell Your Tale Season 2, and oh, that means I have to watch Tell Your Tale Season 2. And so I did. This will be the majority chunk of this video from now on, but I did watch Tell Your Tale Season 2, and I watched the first episode, thought it was fine, and then 3 back-to-back misses were the rest of the episodes. Then there was an episode with Misty in a mysterious room, which I thought was very interesting, but will they capitalize on this, and will they make it interesting in the future? Time will tell, but I thought it was okay. And then the pond episode where they're at the lake and they're reading each other's hearts and stuff like that and destinies, that was pretty good. But I think G5 is starting to recognize who the real main character of this show really is. Hi, hello, post-production
Beatbox 15
here. As soon as I was recording this voiceover for the current video that you're currently watching, a new episode of Tell Your Tale just dropped. And that's why I waited to release this video, by the way. And what did I think of it? I thought it was pretty fine. I really do appreciate that they're delving into Sunny's doubts and self-reflection more about being the last alicorn potentially in the world. My only gripe is that I wish it was longer. I wish they would delve more into Sunny's thoughts on being a dying breed and maybe talk about how she wasn't born an alicorn, yet was granted these powers, and how she feels about that, or the emotional weight she has to carry around knowing that she has defeated one of her own kind, even if it was the right thing to do. Questions that make the audience think. Again, I'm just naming random shit off the top of my head. They could do more with Sunny and this concept of her being an alicorn, but hopefully Sunny gets more character development throughout this current season, as well as some other characters in Tell Your Tale. And also, hopefully, we get to explore this new area that they're talking about, which is obviously Skyros, in one of the specials or something. I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. Anyways, back to the video. But you see there's a pattern here. A pattern that I brought up in my previous Tell Your Tale video that I made, Jesus, a while ago, was that for every good episode there is for Tell Your Tale, there's always gonna be like an absolute terrible or boring or just nothing episode. Like, do I really care about Sparky wanting to have a dragon brother, or Pip having a big fruit hat, or some forced romance subplot that will absolutely go nowhere? For everything I do like about Tell Your Tale, there will always be an episode that I watch next that makes me want to stop watching the show. And maybe it's because I'm just jaded. I'm a jaded person about this franchise, but that's just me though. If you genuinely like Tell Your Tale or MLP G5 as a whole, go ahead. No one's stopping you. You have opinions just like everyone else, and it's okay if you like something that others may not like as well. And now with Tell Your Tale out of the way, I wanted to bring up some things that you guys told me to bring up in this video, as well as some other things I thought of while recording this part of the video before I get into one more discussion point for today's video, and my final thoughts on the current state of MLP G5 right now. Alright, I have a couple of quick comments open and just things that I just thought of while recording this part of the video. If I didn't get to your comment, I'm sorry, or if I didn't answer your question 100%, it was probably because it was already talked about in this video already, but nonetheless, here we go. A lot of people brought up G6. All we can do really is speculate about G6. I don't have much thoughts on G6. If you want my honest, safe bet answer that Hasbro can go with, it's that it's a 2D animated show with Friendship is Magic's writing and no connection to the previous generations whatsoever. Oh yeah, and more fantasy stuff and elements. That's my safe bet answer that Hasbro could probably do. Or a lot of people have been saying just continue where Friendship is Magic last left off, and I know that they're not going to do that for 100% certainty. But you never know. They've already connected G4 to G5, so Or you know what Hasbro could really do? Do you want to know what Hasbro could do to spice things up in the G5 era that we're in right now? You are my Equestria girls. Hasbro, please don't. Because god damn it, I love Equestria girls. I just love Equestria girls. Except for you. You're pretty alright. Somebody else said to bring up character development and characters in general. I already went over this in one of the sections of the video. I think that this show is a 2.5 character show. Misty is clearly the main character of the show, or at least it feels like it. They're at least trying with Sunny and this new season of Tell Your Tale. We'll see where that goes. And I think you can make a argument for Zip. Surprisingly, Zip has actually grown on me ever since I started watching G5, whereas before I was just like, I don't really know how I feel about this detective gimmick, but like looking back at everything that's happened in Make Your Mark, I actually like think Zip is a pretty okay character now. Everybody else I just think needs more development. Hitch, Izzy, and especially Pip just needs some work. But yeah, for right now, it's just a 2.5 horse show, honestly. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention they also said to bring up Opaline and world building. World building sucks. I mean, it's getting better, but hopefully it will get even more better in Tell Your Tale Season 2. And as for Opaline, that bitch is a fucking corpse. But jokes aside, I'll leave you with this. How come Opaline is one of the villains with the longest amount of screen time, yet there is only one flashback before her assault on Equestria? People also told me to bring up character speeches, especially with Misty, and like, it doesn't bother me as much, probably because I'm half paying attention to the episode to begin with. But like, I just wanted to bring it up because I know a lot of other people think it's like really weird that they have to keep hammering it down.
My heart helps me feel.
And one final thing to bring up before I close things out for today's video, I wanted to bring up this comment and I wanted to read it verbatim because I thought it was really important to talk about, and I want to make its own separate video, but for right now I'll read the comment and discuss it. The comment says, and I quote, "The fact that it, G5, is significantly less talked about than G4 and what the future of the franchise could look like," preceded by 3 skull emojis. I'm gonna get into the latter half of this comment first and give my prediction if I didn't already in this video, and then I'll get into my thoughts about G5 being talked about less than G4, as well as what I ultimately think the state of G5 is right now. I think that My Little Pony G5 will carry on with Tell Your Tale as usual as long as that goes on for, and maybe they'll make a movie or a spin-off series like an EQG, but as for the future, it's Tell Your Tale or nothing, man. That's my prediction at least. And to talk about the
Elephant green screen effect.
in the room, G5 is talked about less than G4. And look guys, I'm not gonna play dumb here. Of course, G5 is talked about less than G4. And you wanna know how I know that? People tell me all the time. Even my friends who have nothing to do or have any interest in MLP tell me that G5 is talked about less than G4. Now, is this a sign to say that the fandom is dying and everything's gonna come crumbling down? No, it's just that over time, things change, people grow up, and more importantly, fandom interest just declines. Again, I want to make a whole separate video in the future talking about this because I find it really fascinating, but there are fewer and fewer people who cover G5 compared to when G4 was airing, and that's okay. All I ask is that you just please don't take mine or others' words as gospel and form your own opinion. Again, what do I say in these videos? That it's just My Little Pony at the end of the day. It's not that deep. If you genuinely get mad at this dumb fuck, red-headed piece of shit Spider-Man's opinions on MLP, I don't know what to tell you, man. Go outside or something. And finally, to wrap things up for today's video, what do I think of all this? What do I currently think of the current state of MLP G5? I don't think that it's in a terrible state. I think Tell Your Tale Season 2 is fine for right now. That could change in the future, but it's just, it feels like there's a lot of predictability in MLP right now, and maybe, hopefully, that will change in the future. At least Tell Your Tale knows its audience and it knows what it is, and for that, I'll say that it's okay for right now. But in the long term, with Tell Your Tale being the one and only pony show going forward for G5, people just have more questions than answers about how this will affect MLP going forward in the future. And just thank you for watching today's different type of video on the channel. You guys let me know if you want more discussion type videos like this on the channel going forward. I was a little nervous making this type of video on the channel because it wasn't necessarily a quote-unquote review or anything that's highly edited. It's just me talking to you guys and giving my thoughts on whatever in a discussion type slash video essay thing. I just wanted to make one, and I just wanted to see how this video would perform on the channel, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it as well as express my own in a different type of video for y'all. And to be honest, I just felt really bad for not uploading in February at all. That's all this video's purpose was, except for psych, gotcha, it's actually an update video, bitch. Look, I'm sorry, I just didn't want this to just be an update video. I'm sorry, please forgive me. So Beta Fox, what's the update? I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna try and upload more not pony content, the keyword being try, because I know YouTube and some people in my audience are just a little fickle. Now, to clarify, this does not mean there's not going to be any pony videos on the channel anymore. Matter of fact, I'll give you a hint. The next one is a really big pony video. But I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time that in the future, there may be a not pony video on the channel every now and then. But that's the plan anyway. The cadence I want to go for the channel moving forward, since G5 is G5ing it up right now, is one pony video and then one not pony video, and then just back and forth. But yeah, that's just the update. You guys let me know how you feel down below about the state of MLP G5 and the future of this channel or something. I don't know.
Feet.
This man has been possessed by the Dame tu Cosita ghost spirit. When he was possessed, his body has been taken over by the Dame tu Cosita, by the spirit oscillating electrical voltages in the brain, wiring him to perform the infamous Dame tu Cosita dance, which is entirely out of his control.